Hey guys, how's it going? It's Crypto Lark here. Today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin and particularly the state of mining. What's going on, who some of the players are, where you can mine Bitcoin if you want to mine Bitcoin, that is. We're going to be looking at all that and more after a quick shout out to everyone who has been hitting that like button, guys. Thank you so much for your support. Big shout out to the subscribers as well, and new subscribers, welcome very much to the channel. Old subscribers, thank you for sticking with me, guys. I really appreciate it. And of course, this is not professional financial advice, guys. Just a dude talking about cryptocurrencies. So, Bitcoin, $6,452 at the time of recording this video. Now, that's not the high of the day. We have been up to 6,470. Gosh, isn't Bitcoin just, holy cow, it's exciting, guys. I love it. I absolutely love it. This is just the beginning, too. It really is. You know, we might see some pullbacks moving forward, but Bitcoin's just got this path wide open. And look, I know 2x is going to cause a lot of drama, but wow, the potential of Bitcoin, absolutely fantastic. Now, who is buying all the Bitcoin today? Well, surprise, surprise, it's the Koreans and the Japanese, again, creating the majority of the volume for Bitcoin. And of course, Bitfinex continues to absolutely kill it. Wow. Wow, $265 million in their 24-hour volume just in Bitcoin USD pairings alone, accounting for 11% of global trading. Whew, Bitfinex killing it. Now, let's talk about the difficulty, because this is an interesting equation here. Look, right back around here was when Bitcoin Cash happened. We saw a slight decrease in the mining difficulty. Power built up, and then blammo, giant increase. Now that giant increase didn't surprise me. We kind of had this retraction, then this power build up, and it went back into Bitcoin. This one, though, is the biggest increase ever in the mining difficulty. We went from 1,196,000,000,000 all the way up to 1,452,000,000,000. That is a massive increase in difficulty, absolutely massive. The question then becomes, what is going to happen with the future of Bitcoin mining? Is it going to get to the point where you simply won't be able to do it as a normal human being anymore? Well, at some point in the future, quite possibly. Or you'll simply be buying mining contracts where you'll get tiny little fractions. And what, you know, looking at it today, we'd go, ha ha ha, that's ridiculous. But we're lucky to be in a situation now. I mean, it's not 5 years ago, it's not 3 years ago, it's not last year even. Mining profits were much bigger back then. Mining profits are still good at this point, especially if the price continues to increase as it has been, and if it increases at such a rate as some of the predictions are, or even looking back at the historical data, year on it's had about an 800% increase. For example, if we see such increases next year, mining will remain very profitable, even if you're only getting small amounts of Bitcoin, that is. Now, energy usage for Bitcoin going right along with that. Currently, Bitcoin is standing at 0.11% of global energy consumption, or consuming about as much energy as Nigeria. Wow. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? That is absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Now, I've been trying to reach out to different mining companies. Nobody wants to talk to me. They don't have to. Why would they? It's unfortunate, but such are things. Such are things. But it'd be nice to actually talk to these mining companies, because the whole process is so opaque. You have no idea what they're doing. You know, they're not public listed companies or anything. You can't really inspect what they're doing. You know, they say, oh yeah, we're in Iceland because of the cheap energy. Well, that's great, but you know, not a lot of transparency, unfortunately, in the Bitcoin mining business. Now the halving is coming, or the next halving, I should say, in a few years. That is, next one's not until June 2020. If you don't know about this, every few years the block reward for Bitcoin goes in half. The next one's going to be in 2020. We just had one last year. So I was saying last year the Bitcoin mining profits were even better. Of course, the price was lower back then too. And this is the interesting chart for you as well. This is Bitcoin over time. And it's really important to actually be looking at this and thinking about this now, because we still have the potential as, yes, we weren't the first adopters, but still as fairly early adopters to have a whole Bitcoin, to have multiple Bitcoin, 5, 10, 15 Bitcoin. That's going to be tremendous in the future. Because look at this, we're in 2017 now. Currently, there are 16,657,050 Bitcoin in existence out of the max supply of 21 million. Now, that puts us right about here. You see how the trajectory went. Huge amounts of Bitcoin slowing. By the next halving, we're going to be moving so slow. The last 3 million Bitcoin are going to take an immensely long time to mine. Now look, up until 2030, mining will still probably be fairly profitable, and obviously if the price gets up to a few $100,000 of Bitcoin, yeah, like I said, even tiny fractions of Bitcoin will remain quite profitable for years and years to come. And obviously the competition to get those tiny fractions will be through the roof. It may not be practical anymore at that point for regular Joe Miner to be involved in the whole situation. But currently, Joe Miner can still compete, or at least, you know, profitable enough out of it. If you want to do home mining, it's hard to come by your own miner, but you can do it. You can absolutely do it. You got to make sure you have the space. If you have a small apartment, it doesn't really work. You got to have the space where you can put this thing. They're loud as heck, but you know, you have control over your mining that way. You don't have to outsource it to a cloud mining company who can change contract terms on you or just isn't transparent in the way they conduct their business. That being said, you gotta wait. They sell out almost instantly. And, you know, you gotta actually get in there, get it pre-ordered. Usually takes between 4 to 8 weeks to arrive if you want to get one of these. Competition is coming to that space, though. Currently, if you want to buy one of these 16 nanometer chip Bitcoin miners, it's a tricky proposition because the arms race is on next year. Very early next year, we're going to have the 7 nanometer chip. So it's something to watch out for. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Cloud mining is still a pretty decent way to get your Bitcoin. Now, cloud mining has the problem that you're charged a daily fee, and that if you get to a point where the difficulty increases too much, the price doesn't keep up with that, you will eventually hit a point where your daily fees cancel out your profits and your contract becomes null and void. Now, if the price of Bitcoin continues to increase at the rate that it has been, that will significantly extend the lifespan of these cloud mining contracts. Some people say, well, they're gonna be worthless after 6 months. I happen to think they'll last a lot longer, assuming the price of Bitcoin continues to increase. You do actually stand to gain more Bitcoin than you could by simply buying it with cash on the day. That being said, you gotta understand difficulty is increasing sometimes at drastic rates. If we were to see, for example, difficulty around 9 trillion, that would be a 6 times increase approximately from where we are right now. We've seen a 6 times increase already since this time last year. It would make your Bitcoin mining contract not worth very much. I'm pessimistic that it will increase that much that quick. I think you will get your ROI and then some on these Bitcoin mining contracts. I still think they're a good idea, but you really have to be highly aware of the potential risk for these if you are getting involved. Genesis Mining, of course, is currently sold out of those, but they should be coming back soon. Now, they're a good buy at 150 bucks. Much more than that, don't really know. Hashing24, for example, they've got a terahash for $258. Wow. And that's a pre-order. You don't even get that for a few months. What's the difficulty going to be like by then? And yet they sell out all the time over here at Hashing24. Hashflare used to be good until they really betrayed the customers and, you know, changed the terms of their contract. People didn't really like that. They've lost a massive amount of business as a result of doing that. It's unfortunate. They used to be quite a good provider too. That brings us to new providers who are coming into the space, companies like CCG Mining. Now look, I'm not vouching for CCG by any means. I haven't used them, but I couldn't find much bad about them on the internet. And they've actually got a team with faces and humans on LinkedIn for whatever that matters. I might experiment and put a little money in with these guys later, but if anyone's used them, hit me up in the comments section down below. Let me know how you're going with that. But it looks legitimate enough, but you have to be really careful in the space because so many cloud mining companies are total frickin' scams. And we're going to talk about some of those here in a minute. Now, another option that you have is a company like NiceHash, but it's not for Bitcoin mining, to be honest. If you were to come over here and buy 1 petahash, so you can get 1 petahash, which is 1,000 terahash, for 1 day, 1 hour, and 15 minutes, and it'll cost you 0.2 Bitcoin. But in that time, you're probably only going to mine 0.17 Bitcoin. Doesn't pay off. Why would they rent out their machines to you to mine more Bitcoin? Now, the thing with NiceHash, though, it's actually good for mining altcoins. If you want to come over here and mine some Sibcoin or some Vertcoin or something, maybe not Vertcoin now, I think that market's probably a bit flooded. But if you want to come in and mine some coins, this gives you a place to do it. To get in early, in particular, if you see a mineable coin that's kind of fresh, it's a good time to get in at that point. Now, there are a lot of ICOs going on as well for mining companies. Hydrominer is one of them. I quite like Hydrominer. I think they have a cool project. They've been doing pretty well. Their ICO, of course, is going fairly well at the moment. I've got some Hydrominer tokens. I like them. But, you know, it's always a risk. It's always a risk. I wouldn't put too much into any one given project. But I like Hydrominer. Out of the options, I think they're the most transparent and trustworthy of the projects that are going currently. You know, they had a really good white paper. They've been working to make sure they're legally compliant and all these things. So I've been debating whether or not to even get some more Hydrominer tokens, but I might not do. I think I've got enough already. Now, there are other companies too. Icerock Mining, for example. I haven't done a lot of investigation into them, but they're offering a pretty similar package, although their returns are perhaps a bit too ambitious. So, something to think about. But you gotta watch out for ones like this. This is an ICO for a mining company. Would you believe it? Look at this website. Look at this website. It's terrible. I mean, it's terrible. This is nothing. This is nothing right here. This is, you gotta watch out for this kind of stuff. And look, maybe they're a decent company, but I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. Why would you build a website like this? This is surprising. So you got to watch out for players like this in the space. But even more than that, you have got to watch out for the serious scam sites. I think this company, Quantum Hash, was Aurora Mine previously, was MicroHash before that, and other iterations before that. It seems like you have the exact same company which keeps coming out, running this scam for a few weeks, promising daily earnings forever. You will never get daily earnings forever. Anyone who promises you that is lying to you and scamming you. That's not how cloud mining works. At least the other cloud mining companies that say, yeah, well, difficulty, your profits will go down over time, etc., etc. Okay, that's honest. You can sit around and debate all day whether or not you'd be better off simply holding Bitcoin, better off mining. That's a great conversation to be had. Stay away from websites like this. You have to do your homework. You have to look around. Something like Quantum Hash, 110% obvious scam. You have to stay away. Even if you think, well, I'm going to get in early, try and get my money out, even then, you're still supporting a scam. You're still giving horrible people your money, and you're drawing other people in to a scam to get screwed over. Please don't support these kind of things, guys. I see other YouTubers out there saying, well, yeah, let's just, run it and jump in and we'll get our money first and everyone else gets screwed. Ha ha. That's not the way to do it, guys. That's not the way to do it. It turns people off of cryptocurrencies. You got to protect the space, guys. Companies like this should be absolutely shunned. Okay, continuing. GMO. Now, this is the other equation. Yeah, it's nice for us to be able to get a little bit of cloud mining action in or get some home mining action in, whichever way you want to do it. There's some massive companies coming in. Previously, most of the power has been in China. That's changing. GMO and SBI, both big Japanese companies, are going heavy into Bitcoin early next year. That's going to drastically affect the whole situation. Bitfury, of course, continuing to be a big player in the space. They, of course, are working with 16 nanometer chips at the moment. GMO's bringing in the 7 nanometer chip. They're also doing immersion cooling so that those 16 nanometer chips can actually perform massively above their regular specs. You can almost double the power out of them. Quite impressive. I've heard that if you take them out of the immersion cooling, they'll basically catch on fire. It's pretty impressive stuff. MGT International, another cryptocurrency Bitcoin mining specific company. Certainly one of the things they do anyway. They do more than that, but one of the things they do is mining Bitcoin. John McAfee is behind this company. Bitfury, GMO, MGT, SBI, more names that I'm not even listing here. These people aren't offering regular Joe Blow to get Bitcoin mining contracts. They're keeping it all themselves. These are strategic business investments for companies that are going to mine the crap out of this Bitcoin, and they're storing it away because they have millions of dollars and they understand this is amazing for their bottom line. It's a tough space, guys. It's developing very quickly. I feel like as regular people trying to mine, in a few years that space is going to be very crowded with big companies competing for an ever dwindling number of Bitcoin. However, if Bitcoin's worth $500,000, even a fraction of Bitcoin will still be worth investing in. So anyway, that's just an overview of the space, talking about some of the players, thinking about some of the ideas. I know for a lot of you guys who are old hat, you're like, yeah, Lark, we know all that stuff. But for people who are a bit new to this space, I hope this video has been useful and it's giving you some perspective on what's going on in the space. Long live the blockchain, guys, and peace out till next time.